All right, boys and girls, welcome to episode one of Beyond the Rate. We are going to talk about in this podcast mortgage leadership, business development, and the real drivers of success in mortgage and real estate. I am also going to take you, the consumer, behind the scenes to see exactly what happens day to day in a mortgage business. When you submit an application to a lender, what really happens? What are they doing behind the scenes? What does a processor do, an underwriter? What is a closer? When do they get involved in the loan? We're going to go deep. We're going to do an episode a week, and I hope that you engage with our content. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, my story. I am the Senior Vice President of Sales here at EMM Loans. My name is Scott Pendleton. A lot of my friends call me Scotty P. Know what I'm saying? I've got no regrets. I love the mortgage business. My career as a person with a job out of college, I was in the United States Coast Guard for 4 years. Very much enjoyed my time in the military. Quickly after my experience in the military, I thought I was going to be an electrical engineer. That didn't quite work out. That wasn't my path. I ended up in the restaurant business for many years. I was a managing partner and general manager for restaurant chains around the country. I ran a big restaurant out in Arizona for a couple of years. About 25, 26 years ago, well, I'd say more 24 to 25 years, I fell through a family member into the mortgage industry. I was introduced to the mortgage business, quickly fell in love with this industry, working with consumers, working with buyers, and learning about the industry. I've made this my career ever since, and I love what I do. I'm very fortunate to be with a company like EMM that has an amazing culture, a company that is driven to excel and have raving fans. I'm super excited to work for a company that takes care of its employees very, very well. And I'm very blessed to be in a leadership position in this company. I started with this company in 2014 as a producing branch manager. I still run a branch for EMM here in the Tampa Bay area. I still originate loans myself. Happy to help anybody out there that needs a mortgage. You can always reach out to me for that. But my main focus here at EMM as the Senior Vice President of Sales is business development, coaching, and growth. I spend a majority of my time working with our loan officers, working with our branch managers to grow their branches, and working at a corporate level to help us grow this company and introduce people to what a great organization this is. We're super proud here of the people that work for us. We've got an amazing tenure here at EMM Loans. Our average tenure is over 6 years. That's operations and sales, which is, as far as the industry goes, a very high average. I'd say on average, 2.5 to 3 years is probably the industry average for tenure. People come to EMM, they stay for a long time because we treat people right. Um, my personal journey, is really moving now more towards leadership. And when I talk about leadership, I'm talking about attractive leadership. We believe here at EMM that if you have great support, people that have your back every day, all day, consistently, it's going to be a great place to work. So we talk about that quite a bit. And I talk about that as I'm talking to candidates that I'm recruiting to come to work for EMM. But it's hard to really share that message quickly. I'm hoping with this podcast, as I engage with people that I know in the industry, people that work here at EMM Loans, as time goes on and we do more episodes of Beyond the Rate, I want to introduce you to the leadership here. I want to introduce you to our head of processing, Tina Lawson. I want to introduce you to our head of underwriting, our head of closing, so you get a better feel for the people that run this company and make it tick. Um, Culture and leadership, transparency, all very important things here at EMM Loans. Transparency, in my opinion, is a little bit of a watered down word in our industry right now. Here at EMM, we talk a lot about margin integrity. We do speak quite a bit about transparency. We have a leader in our company, Dan Williams, who's all about making sure that the SVP to the LOA helping on loans is crystal clear on our vision as an industry, as a company in this mortgage industry, and wants to make sure that everybody knows what our path is and where we're going and where we stand from a financial standpoint. This industry has been very odd the last couple of years. We've seen a tremendous amount of mergers and acquisitions. Unfortunately, we've seen some mortgage companies, good mortgage companies, go out of business. And I think a lot of that is because they were not fiscally responsible when we were doing very well. During the COVID years, most mortgage companies were making 6 to 7 times normal revenues. They were just making tons of money. Unfortunately, a lot of these owners, presidents, and leaders of these companies were spending that money as fast as they made it. Here at EMM, we didn't do that. We were very fiscally responsible. We put a lot of that money in the bank and set it aside. For a small to mid-size IMB, we have a very healthy cash position, and we are poised for success moving forward. And that's very important for any loan officer or branch manager or leader in this industry is thinking about going to work for another company. We've seen so many people leave their current organization and go work for a new company, and they were caught up in a merger, and they didn't want to be caught up in a merger. Or we've seen people that stuck it out at a company that they thought was a great place to work, and they were acquired by another company, and that merger may not have been the best for them long term. So here at EMM, we have no desire to be acquired. If anything, we're always looking for opportunities to acquire smaller operations, smaller teams, smaller companies. But we've got a great cash position, and we're poised to succeed. My biggest why right now is helping our internal team grow. To do that, I need to make sure that they have all the tools they need. We as a company need to make sure they have all the tools they need to succeed. We're very focused on that to make sure that they can go out and recruit good, quality, solid loan officers to work for their branches. Right now, let's talk a little bit, and once again, this is my first episode. I may ramble a little bit here, but it's just going to be me. In future episodes, I'm going to interview our team and realtors and friends in the industry. You're going to get to meet some of the best title agents and best realtors on this podcast here in the Tampa Bay area and beyond. Current market noise. We have seen an amazing couple of years. The last 3 years in the mortgage industry has been one of the biggest downturns we've ever seen. Just a little history. The mortgage industry has seen many downturns. Typically, historically, these downturns have lasted a year to a year and a half. The longest really we ever saw in the past was about an 18-month downturn, meaning, the market shifted, kind of went down, but after about a year and a half, it started building back up. We are right now in a 3-year rut. We've seen a downturn in our industry that's double what we've ever seen historically. How do we get past that? Well, I think one of the things we need to do is we need to try to eliminate the noise. As a leader in the industry, as a loan officer going out there in the street and trying to originate loans, as a branch manager trying to grow your branch and help your loan officers be successful, we need to try to eliminate the noise as much as we can. For example, the last week, it's been the Fed chairman, right? We've heard from the Fed. Our buddy Jerome Powell, he finally came out, lowered the Fed funds rate by 0.25%. Well, the market had already baked in that 0.25%. And unfortunately, Jerome, instead of using that as a positive and helping the market move in the right direction, Jerome did the decrease of 0.25%, but then he said some negative things that really kind of affected the market in a negative way. The Fed funds rate is not mortgage rates. Are they affected by the Fed funds rate? Absolutely. But sometimes it takes time for that to happen. The immediate impact of Jerome Powell's reduction of 0.25% to the Fed funds rate, and then the speech he gave after, which actually hurt the market, and rates have gone up a little bit over the last week or so. Can we control those things? No. as an originator on the street, as a branch manager, as a leader in the mortgage industry, we have to realize there's some things out of our control. The only thing that we can control are our actions. We have to be very focused on the actions that we do on a daily basis. So even if you're not in the mortgage business, if you're in sales, you have to know that for you to be successful, there's things that you have to do every day. You have to time block those sales activities to be successful. I can't control the outcome. I can't control what the Fed chairman's going to do. I can't control the CPE or the CPI numbers that are coming out this week. I can't control the job numbers. What I can control are my actions. I can control what I do on a daily basis to be successful. And that means I have to reach out to a certain number of recruits every week and introduce myself and stay connected with them. As an originator, I need to reach out to my referral partners consistently and let them know that I'm here to support them and show them ways that I can bring them value. Those are a lot of things we talk about here at EMM and a lot of what I coach around. One of the other things I do here is I do bi-weekly coaching for our sales team. I want to make sure that our staff has all the tools they need to be successful. Sometimes we coach around mindset. Sometimes it's very tactical. Sometimes I bring in guest speakers because let's be honest, I've been here for a long time and I think sometimes our sales team gets tired of hearing from me. But we're always going to bring good, solid information to our team. Every Wednesday here at EMM, we do a market update call. We sit with our staff for half an hour to an hour, depending on how long the call takes. And we've got some really intelligent guys that understand the market at a high level. And we talk about what the market is doing, how we think it's going to impact rates. And that's great information for you as an originator or branch manager. It's also great information that now you can share with your referral partners on social media and all those things. You know, one of the things we talked about quite a bit this year was we had an initiative going into this year, which was 25 in 2025. If you're an originator, who are the 25 top referral partners that you have, and what can you do to strengthen those relationships? For our branch managers, maybe it was both top 25 referral partners and top 25 recruits that they want to join their team, that they really felt like or feel like that they can bring some true value to them by working at an organization like EMM that has great culture, very entrepreneurial. And to be honest with you, you can test me on this one. I think we have some of the best pricing, some of the best rates in the market. That's great for you as a consumer if you're thinking about getting a mortgage. And if you're working in the mortgage industry, I can tell you right now, our Govy pricing is tough to beat. All those things being said, it's having a goal, having a vision on who are you going to focus on going into 2025. Here at EMM, one of the things that I think makes us a little bit different, our leaders are not spectators. We are doers. Myself, Nick Gruzis, who's our director of sales and production, Brad Miller, my fellow SVP, we all still originate. We all still run teams. I run a branch and originate. Brad originates, runs a team. Nick runs one of our biggest DBAs in the organization called Ideal Mortgage Group, in addition to what he's doing every day to help us as an organization internally in his leadership role. Working for people that are still in the trenches doing what you do is important. I believe, at least from my perspective, I don't ever want to stop producing. I love working with the consumer. I think it keeps me grounded and helps me relate better to our sales staff. Leadership in mortgage sales is really about team building, creating culture. And I can tell you from sincerity, from a very sincere place, myself, Brad, and Nick, the three main leaders and support mechanism of this company, we lead with a servant mentality. We are here to serve our team 1,000%. We are, as a company, in the process of changing our point of sale software, meaning this is the portal that consumer goes to complete their application and upload all their documentation. This is where they're going to sign their closing disclosures because we do hybrid e-closes. It's a very important process in the mortgage origination. We are in the process right now of going from one system piece of technology. We're switching to a more user-friendly piece of technology. But when you transition from one to another, there's quirks, there's technical glitches, there's little things that pop up. I'm amazed by the response time of specifically Brad Miller, who is heading up this transition, and our support staff on how quickly they are able to respond to questions, to issues. It has been almost 2 weeks now that we've been in this transition, and talk about a servant's attitude. Brad is doing absolutely phenomenal, and it's a blessing to have somebody like that's working for us to help our team be successful. Business development is really realtor partnerships, storytelling, social media. You know, we as originators today, myself and what I do, we almost have to look at ourselves as a media company. I'm doing this podcast because I want to reach more people. As an originator today, I would encourage you to do a podcast. As an originator today, I would encourage you to reach out via social media, do video content. You have to be sharing what you do on a daily basis. And no matter what anybody says, the best way to do that is through storytelling, telling stories people relate to. So for all my mortgage friends out there, for all you branch managers that aren't doing social media today, but you're like, I know I need to do this. This is how I can make a difference. We can help you. We can teach you how to do it. And it's as simple as telling a story. Do you need some technology? Do you need a camera? Do you need a microphone, some lighting? Yes, but it's not that difficult. One of the other things we talk about in our coaching is mindset and having good habits. Those are very, very, very important things as well. As we do this podcast, the other thing I really want to be able to do is go behind the scenes for the consumer out there, for Joe borrower that wants to buy a home or refinance as rates continue to drop. What is really happening? When I do my application from there, what does that process look like? I want to take you behind the scenes of the application stage. I want to take you behind the scenes of processing, what a processor actually does through with your application to get you into underwriting. Why does underwriting ask the questions that they ask? Why are they asking you about your large deposits and things of that nature? I want to take this through a process that everybody can understand. Closing. When does a closer get involved with the file? When does a processor start the file? When does it go from processing to underwriting? I want to give you valuable insights. What are the top 3 things borrowers should know to make the process smoother? How being proactive with your documentation, your communication with your processor and loan officer can make the loan much, much smoother. Why working with a trusted loan officer that has you in mind before their income is so important. I'll give you a real life example. I've got a gentleman that I did his purchase for a little over a year ago. It's been about a year and a half. He purchased a very beautiful home here in the Tampa Bay area. Super nice guy, somebody I've known for a while, an acquaintance, friend, great guy. And when we did his purchase, he did a first mortgage and a 10% second mortgage, a home equity line of credit as a second mortgage. So he only had to put 10% down. This was a jumbo purchase, so it required a certain percentage down. He came to me recently, and he's come to me probably month over month for the last 6 months as rates have started to drop a little bit. And he's like, hey, is it a good time to refinance? I said, no. Hey, is it a good time to refinance? I said, no. He came to me again and again. And finally, rates dropped a little bit more. And I thought, okay, this might be the time for you to refinance. So went over the scenario with him, went over the numbers. And to his defense, he made it very clear. He goes, listen, man, I'm very good at what I do. This is all kind of foreign to me. I trust you. Please walk me through the numbers, which I did again and again and again. We finally got to the point that we got his loan going. We had his home appraised. It appraised on value. Everything looked good. We were able to lock his rate a point lower, paying off his home equity line of credit, which had an even higher interest rate than his first mortgage. So overall, it looked pretty good. About halfway towards the end of the process of the loan, he came to me and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about maybe buying another home. Don't necessarily love where I'm living right now. House is beautiful. It's got some issues. It's a little bit older. My wife and I are thinking," and he's doing well financially. He's thinking, maybe I can move up to a better area, nicer neighborhood, and a little bit bigger home. I said, okay. So we had some conversations. We went over the numbers several times. We actually went to closing. We closed his loan on his refinance last Friday. Now, it was an owner occupied refinance. Here's the caveat: when you close on a refinance in the state of Florida, in most states, you have a 3-day right of rescission, meaning you can close the loan, which we did on Friday. And if you sleep on it a day or two and decide this isn't the bigger, better deal for you, you don't have to continue the loan. You can cancel the loan. You can rescind on the loan. He came to me Monday morning. He goes, "Man, I slept on it this weekend." He goes, "I've looked at the numbers. We've looked at some other homes. I really think I want to cancel this loan." So I said, "All right, no problem. Here's what I did." I went over the numbers with him one more time. This time I put it all in writing. I sent him a detailed email explaining exactly what his loan represented and if it was a better deal for him. And we went back and worked the math. And, here was the reality. I told him, I said, "Listen, if you really feel like you're going to purchase a home in the next 6 to 12 months, you should not close. You should cancel this loan. You shouldn't do it." And he felt confident in the next 6 to 12 months he was going to purchase a home. Did this loan save him money? Yes. Did it put him in a better financial situation for now? Yes. But was it a good long-term fix for him? No, because he wasn't going to have the time for the savings he was getting on a monthly basis to recoup the cost associated with the loan. And I can tell you right now, I've been in this industry for a very long time. Most loan officers would have pushed him into closing that loan. I absolutely would never do that to somebody. Plus, this is somebody I've known for quite a while. I told him very simply, I am comfortable with you canceling the loan because I want you to be extremely comfortable with the process and the loan. Don't worry about if I make money. Worry about if this is a better deal for you. He canceled the loan. He feels good about it. I feel good about it because I know when he goes to purchase a home next year, maybe the year after, he's coming back to me, right? And that's what this is all about. This is the way we treat our customers here at EMM. We create raving fans so they come back to us again and again and again. So, I want to use this platform, this podcast, as a way to share some real insight about what's happening here at EMM and what's happening in the industry. And for you, the consumer, what this process is really like. So as a recap, once a week, I'm going to invite some guests in and we're going to go beyond the rate. We're going to talk about what's really happening around the mortgage industry. We're going to talk about what's happening here at EMM Loans. If you're shopping for a mortgage, ask your LO these questions. If you want someone who will give you full transparency, we'd love to help. If you're looking for somebody that's going to treat you like their family, we're here to help. For loan officers and branch managers, if you're not super happy where you're working today, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Not to recruit you, but to get to know you. Am I recruiting you? Absolutely. Do I want great originators that are doing good volume to come work here at EMM Loans? Absolutely. And if anybody tells you different, they're lying to you. I want to bring the best people into our organization. And if you're a top producer and you're not a nice person, you're probably not a fit for us. Here at EMM Loans, we want to hire great people. We want to work with great people. We want to build a team of great culture, of diversity. And if you are on the street right now, working at a company, thinking this may not be where I want to spend the rest of my career, now is the best time to reach out, call me. Let's have a conversation and talk about why you should maybe come work here at EMM Loans. That's all I've got for you today. I'm looking forward to bringing on some guests so you can learn more about the industry and EMM. And remember, like my tagline says, at EMM Loans, every mortgage matters.